Okay, so the first part that I'm gonna start with is, so this is GY173. It's dim green, which to me, it kind of has like this, kind of has this yellowish color tone to it. So we'll use that. I always use the brush tip. Why? Probably because I like the way that it feels, but right now, because I'm gonna color in a deeper, or not a deeper, but a bigger surface area, I am gonna use the broad tip. Mainly because I might press a little bit too hard if I use the brush tip. Probably should have lightened up a little bit more of the pencil, but it's too late now. Work with what we got. Okay, so the next part is the shadow, and in the pit here, kind of just, I guess not the pit, the cavity. It kind of just gets darker on this one side, and then a little shadow right here. Okay, that's what I see. And then to blend out the two colors, I'm gonna go back to that dim green with the brush tip and try to blend in between the two colors. They're honestly already kind of blending together as is. Okay, and the next one is gonna be this darker green because that is on the outer side of the avocado. And then I'm gonna blend between those colors with the sugar cane. And then I'm gonna go back to that pale green, which is GY1. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the other avocado. And then I have this deep olive green, and it's a GY43. But I think I'm gonna let the avocado dry a little bit more. I'm gonna move to the seed, and let's see. Oh, that one is sand, which is E220. And I'm gonna take Carib Cocoa, and I'm gonna put that on the outside a little bit for that seed. Okay, so I do have all of my colors picked out already. I'm just gonna get started with this lighter color here. It's Primrose Y121. And I'm gonna try not to get her eyes in this one. I'm gonna start with her neck first, actually, because I was planning on just coloring her whole face, but I think if I do that I won't be able to blend as well, so I'm just gonna start with her neck and then I'll work my way up. I'm gonna use Y145, which is Better Cup Yellow, and I'm gonna go on the outside of her neck and then underneath here to blend everything out. I do like layering with this sketchbook just because it doesn't rip the paper. It definitely bleeds, but I don't mind it. Okay, and then I'm gonna let that sit. I will color in her face now while this section dries. Hopefully I'll be able to get the blend that I'm looking for. It's definitely hard with markers to get a blend, and that's why a lot of the time you'll see me add colored pencil onto the top. But another thing with colored pencil is I don't have all the different shades or quite know color theory well enough to take a certain color pencil and just shade it in and make it look the same tone as what I'm going for in the reference photo. So I'm going to try to do my best and just leave my highlights, which is this lighter yellow color, and then I'm going to use a darker color to actually get that skin tone that she has. I'm going to do my best, like I said. It's going to be a good little learning process as I continue to create with markers and just colors in general, especially traditionally, because you got to really think about which colors are gonna blend well together. You can't just color pick an image, or what I normally do when I do digital art is I'll find a color on my own that matches to the reference as close as possible, and then I'll use that L method, so where you take your color and then you go down and then right to make it lighter, or you take that color, you go down and left to make it lighter, and that's just how I darken up all of my stuff. Alright, so I am gonna be honest with you guys, I don't like anything about this. But I don't know what exactly to do to make it look better. Right now I'm just gonna keep blending and working at it, and maybe it'll come together. What I don't really like so far is that I feel like I went a little bit too dark in her face. I think I should have picked some lighter tones. The only thing with these specific Ohuhu markers, because I'm using the skin tone set for her face, is they don't have enough, there's not enough mid-tones, I feel, but I'm gonna make it work, I hope, fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens. What I'm gonna do, especially like for her hair, I think I'm gonna try to make the braid shape and then just color it all in. If I don't do that, then I'll just color her whole head in one, her whole head of hair in one tone, and I'll see where I go from there. Just right now, it's not, her face isn't looking how I thought it was going to, and it is a little bit splotchy in some areas, especially like right in here in her cheeks. So yeah, I am just gonna, this is the lightest yellow that I use, so that's like what her highlights are, and I'm just gonna go over her face, and maybe that'll help blend everything out. If it doesn't, then maybe colored pencils will help with this. If you know, if you're better with markers than I am, or if you just have some tips, definitely let me know what you think I should have done differently when I colored in her face. I feel like her face is kind of getting there. I worked on it just a little bit, and then I jumped into doing the hair because I really just wanted her face to dry a little bit more, and maybe something would come out at me of where I could change up her look. But right now I am just gonna end up leaving it currently how it is, because I think once I add in the colored pencils, especially like her cheek area, like I was saying before, I think her face will come together. As for her hair, I've just been doing these little sweepy motions. Are they actually braid sweepy motions? Nope, not at all, but it's okay. I am not worried about it. So I am also going to color in her eyes. I'll be using, it's chestnut brown, Y13. And I'm gonna try not to get too far or too close to the ring of the eye, because I feel like it's gonna bleed into the rest of her face, and I really don't want that to happen. So I'm just coloring it in just a little bit so that I can see what her eyes are gonna look like. And then as for her shirt, I'm not gonna leave it white like it shows in the picture. I think I'm gonna find almost like a cool gray tone, or maybe I can use this yellow gray. It's 040, which it just says yellow gray 04 as the color. So I think that's what I'll use, just so that it adds a little bit of tone here, because I didn't realize, but like she's wearing red. I guess I did realize, I just didn't take it into consideration when I was coloring this spread. But he's also wearing red, so these two are wearing red, and maybe I'll change like the color of her shirt or the color of his. I haven't really decided yet, but just wanted to put that out there, so then I didn't have to later. But again, I might just repeat myself, so we will find out. All right, so I'm gonna keep working on her hair, and I think I'm just gonna go around her braids again, and then after that I am gonna add in this mahogany, which is the current color that's on here, and I'll just color that all in, so then her hair will be done. So I'm going to grab, I think this is the brown, that I want for like around her nose here. And like I said, I'm not super good about picking which color should go where. I just grab a colored pencil like you just saw. I test it and I'm like, oh, yep, that looks good. Okay, and then there's this one, which is Sienna Brown, which maybe I should use that one for around the nose. Okay, and then I need one for her skin tone, which I feel like that's a little too yellow. Actually, no, that's gonna work out just fine. So I'm just gonna lightly shade her cheek area where there's a little bit of highlight here, and I'm gonna go around and do that with all the highlights, and then afterwards I am gonna try to blend everything out with this Sienna Brown. Yeah, because I think this yellowish, what is this, yellow ochre, I think it's working pretty well for her skin. Okay, and then I'm gonna lightly shade here. So that Sienna Brown was too dark, but I am gonna keep this yellow ochre out, and I'm gonna try to see if I can find a brown that's gonna work. This one might be okay. Maybe if I just, this one's a little too dark as well, and I'm not sure which one is gonna work best because those are all too dark. Maybe I could use this, what is this? Let's see. Okay, yeah, I could use this caramel brown, that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna try to color in this gentleman here. I'm going to erase a little bit. He was the one that I was actually worried about the most with coloring, not necessarily fixing this happy accident and making it work. Her portrait's gonna be harder to get fixed. Okay, so I am gonna get started with this YR212. It's milk white, and I am just gonna get his whole face. Okay, so far I think that adding in all the shading is working really well. I'm liking the shapes that I'm getting from the shading. Yeah, I think just by not going too hard with the blending is working out well as well. So I'm gonna keep going around his face and just getting all the shapes down and making sure that his face looks how I want it to. I'm gonna let some areas dry, like his lines here, that I've made, little creases, and then I'm going to go back in with, this is actually hazelnuts. I'm going to go back in and do the darkening, or the darker areas, just so that I can see if I need to layer with this marker or if I need another marker altogether. So I just started layering in with that same hazelnuts color, and I think that's working really well with the rest of this portrait. So I'm just going to keep going and color all around. And also, I just wanted to let you guys know that I won't be doing a whole lot of talking during this section, just because I've never done a cover up, if you will. So yeah, I'll be pretty quiet during this whole process, just so that I can think about what I'm doing a little bit more than I would if I was just, you know, going with the flow. Okay, right now I am just adding in some little hairs into his hair, just some fine little details here and there. I do like how his hair isn't super defined. I kind of like with this portrait here, I didn't make it super defined. It's partially because I need to work on hair more, but I like how this is a more simplified look, but you can tell that it's hair still. Okay, I just wanted to share this with you guys because I don't normally put colored pencil, at least white, to make hair look more like hair, because this gentleman's beard is definitely more white than it is colored, but I really like how the white is just popping off, but you can still see the color underneath, and I think it's really helping the hair look more like hair but still have minimal detail within it. Yeah, that looks cool, because I thought I had gone a little bit too dark, especially like in this area and then a little bit up here. I know it's dark back here, so I'm gonna leave this section alone, but I like how it's all coming together. And then like adding that colored pencil right here because he has some stray white hairs that aren't super put together with the rest of his hair. And I think that adding this white pencil on top just helps it pop a little bit more. I'm gonna try to do it on his eyebrows here too, but it is a little bit lighter in this area, so it's a little bit harder to see. But I do like using this colored pencil right now. It's bringing this portrait to life and it's awesome. Okay, and then I'm gonna move on to this next portrait right here. Let's see what we can do with it, because right now my feeling is it's just gonna stay like this, but I'm gonna do my best and try to add in the little scribbles here into this portrait and see what happens. Sorry, I thought I was recording that whole time, but I started to draw the entire face in this milk white, and then I did some of the shading here with powder pink, and then I did just a little bit more deeper shadows here with terracotta right in here. Okay, so I've been thinking about how I'm going to incorporate these lines here, and I think I'm just gonna make it like as if it were her hair, and I'm just gonna swoop it in, and maybe that'll help. Okay, let's see if I can just go like this and kind of make it look like it was purposeful. And we're gonna use this brown here. Okay, and then this one, we can go like that. It doesn't like fully make sense though, but I don't know. It'll work. It'll be fine. Kind of like that. Yeah, okay. I think that'll work. And then I'm gonna color in her nostril here. And this one I think I'm gonna leave pretty minimal with detail. And I'm not gonna do a whole lot of blending in her face like I did with the previous portraits, or like even this one. I busted out the colored pencils and I really like blended in her cheeks and everything. And then this one, the only place that I used colored pencils was for his eyes and then his hair, and a little bit on his neck here, and then a little bit on the shirt that he's wearing. So for this one, I am going to just get the lips done. I'm gonna do her eyes and eyebrows, and I think that's gonna be it. I don't want her to have a bunch going on just because of how her hair is moving. She's already got a lot going on. Okay, you guys, let me know how you think I did. Try to salvage it. I think that it's looking pretty good. Which one is your favorite piece? Let me know down in the comments, and thank you so much for watching the video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.